not going to find a friendlier bunch of folks around than in Boydton. I'm sure you all seen people waving from the porch and saying, "What are you guys doing here? Isn't this fun?" And wave to, shake your hand. You know, that's just the way Boydton people are. In a nutshell, the history of Boydton is it was a pretty important place back in the 1700s and early 1800s. It was so important they built a plank road all the way from Petersburg to Boydton just to haul the tobacco into various different products. And during the war, the Civil War, Boydton actually never had any battles fought in Boydton. So consequently, all the records are still here, handwritten records from the 1700s, right over here in the courthouse. You know, if you want to look up a deed, you can see the guy that actually wrote the deed, and you know, all these old books are right there for everybody to look at. So everything is continuity from, you know, from pre-Civil War to after Civil War to present day.
Well, the Washington Post came here about 6 or 7 years ago when we had some financial reverses all occur at the same time, and they were prepared to write Boydton's obituary. And I told the reporter that that wasn't going to happen because Boydton's people were very resilient and had been for many generations. This town went through several crises that were more pronounced than the reverses that we had about 6 or 7 years ago.
There's been a lot of downturn in the economy. Back in the early 2000s, we saw a lot of industries leave, so the textiles, the manufacturing, the agriculture left town, and we were a little worried about where the future jobs were going to come from. The lack of broadband connectivity that we have throughout the region is really driving down economic growth, it's driving down job creation, and it's really putting our residents behind the forefront.
Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization around the world to achieve more. And that's something that we've embraced wholeheartedly here. We have a huge data center sitting in Boydton's backyard. We feel it's our obligation to invest in the betterment of the community here.
So to help address the broadband gap in Southern Virginia, Microsoft is sponsoring 2 projects. First, we have deployed a free public Wi-Fi system throughout downtown Boydton for the benefit of merchants, residents, and visitors. Secondly, we've partnered with Mecklenburg Electrical Co-op as they have launched their initial fiber to the premise construction project throughout their service region to service their co-op customers.
Broadband is very important to our rural communities such as Mecklenburg because without it we're unable to compete against more urban areas. It's no different than 80 years ago when rural cooperatives came to rural America and started providing electricity. It brought us from the 19th century to the 20th century. This is bringing us from the 20th century to the 21st. And by doing that, we're able to compete on a global basis with other communities.
If anybody knows how important internet access is, it's the folks at Microsoft. Right? Empowers people. I mean, let's face it. It provides things that folks can get nowhere else. So we know that Microsoft's mission is to make certain that everyone in this country has an equal opportunity to technology. And that's our mission too. I don't know how it gets any better than that. You know, when you have that strong of an alignment in the thing that you're most focused on, then you can't help but have a good relationship that's mutually beneficial and that, frankly, benefits those at the end of the line. The folks that we serve now, a lot of them, are so incredibly loyal and dedicated to this organization because of the first time. That means that their father or their grandfather or grandmother or aunt was there the first time they pulled the switch and a light bulb came on. That was a life-changing experience and something that families talked about. And it instilled in them a loyalty and a dedication to the cooperative that money doesn't buy. Marketing programs don't buy. Nothing buys. I believe that this fiber to the premise project can instill the same kind of loyalty and dedication in a newer, younger, very different generation, you know, whose priorities are different, and rightly so. I think that 30 years from now, that they'll look back on the day we started pulling fiber here with the same reverence that those folks look back on in 1938 when we bought electricity to their homes for the first time. When I think about Microsoft's presence here, this is a kind of a dream partnership. You know, if you got a facility like they got here, I think there ought to be a certain expectation that the areas around that ought to be some of the most connected on the face of the earth. I mean, let's face it, you know, it's the way it ought to be. And we agree with that. We're fortunate, one, that Microsoft's here, and two, that we got a great opportunity to partner with them in making progress on a project that will be a life-changing thing for the folks in Southside Virginia.